If you're in the South Sound of Washington right now and you have heard that the real estate market is on fire, it is crazy. People are making bids. Some people are trying to buy. Sellers are selling for like way more than you ever thought possible. All of that's true. But do you know specifically why? Do you know why this is happening? I'm gonna break this down for you right now in this video. In the first about a minute and a half, I'm gonna tell you really what's going on, and then I'm gonna get into some numbers for you. Let's talk about the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've been doing this for about 20 years. I have never seen house values go up in a 1-year period as much as they have in the last year. I'm in Thurston County right now, and the market has went up 27%. 27%. What does that mean? Okay, so if your house is worth $300,000 last year, 12 months ago, that means today, 27%, it's worth $408. You know what the average is for 30 years? 4. That would mean on an average situation year, the house would have went from 300 to 312. It went from 300 to 408. This is what people are dealing with. This is why people are struggling if they're looking to buy. So let's chat about all of that right now. So the thing that everybody's complaining about is there's no houses to buy. So they're thinking there's not a lot out there, and it's true. But don't confuse the low inventory with no homes being listed. There's actually just as many being listed as almost any other year minus last year COVID. So there's confusion going on. People think there's no houses. It's not that there's no houses, it's just that all the houses get listed, get bought up really fast. So what are the things that are causing this? Low interest rates. You've got people who, because of that massive amount of value they've gained, and it could be in this state, it could be in another state where they've gained even more value. They're bringing money in from other places and they're driving up the cost because with such little inventory, the winning bids right now are really high. And that's really unfortunate if you're looking to buy, but it's not impossible. And definitely don't give up. It's still a good time to buy the home, especially with values anticipated to keep increasing, not at the same pace maybe as last year. It's still going to be an opportunity for those of you out there that are looking to buy, and those of you looking to sell, it's still going to be an opportunity going forward. What should happen and what we're seeing is just bits and pieces of the inventory beginning to just build a little and increase. So some of the other contributing factors to this are that there is a total lack of homes being built. So you may still see neighborhoods, people building houses. Yes, that's going on. But historically, in this past decade, there is millions and millions and millions of fewer homes being built than there have been in the previous decade and the decade before that and the decade before that. So that's one of the major contributing factors. So a lot of what we're seeing, and we're seeing this more than ever, is that when we have a new construction site and the prices are somewhat affordable, we're seeing a lot of investors competing with the people who want to live in the houses. And so investors usually have a little more resources sometimes than your average home buyer. And so they are actually able to purchase some of these properties that people are moving into, therefore driving prices up, making it a little tougher for the average homeowner to get in a house. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. You know what the elephant is? A bubble. How many people have you heard talk about, oh, this is a bubble, it's gonna burst, right? We've seen this happen. We saw this happen before. In 2007, totally different circumstances. So can it crash? It could. Is it going to? Do I think it's going to right now? Absolutely not. And the reason is there are so few homes, supply and demand. Until that starts to tilt the other direction or something major happens, we're not looking at any kind of bubble situation right now. So bye-bye. So let's get into these numbers a little bit. This will breathe some life into what I'm talking about. Maybe it'll resonate, make a little more sense for you. So let's talk about that. So new listings, right? Remember we talked about there isn't a lack of new listings. So check out this chart. This chart shows us the last 3 months and the trajectory that we're on in Thurston County. Okay, so March 1, 348. April 1, 503. May 1, 578. So when you compare that with last year at 396 at the same time, it shows a 46% increase in the number of new listings. The one thing to keep in mind is we did hit COVID last year right around the previous month of this. And so it could be impacted a little by those numbers, but historically there's no shortage of actual new properties hitting the market. So let's talk about pending houses. Pending houses are the ones that are under contract. What you'll see by looking at the chart here is that we actually took a little dip there's still a lot of people buying, but there was less last month than the previous month. But compared to last year, it's still 21% more. So what does it mean? It means there's still just a lot of people buying houses. All right, so active homes are the ones we could drive in the car, we could go check them out. Those are the ones that are on the market at that snapshot of time. Gives us a good idea of what things look like. What we'll see here is that in May, on May 1st, there was 211 active properties in Thurston County. The good news is 4 weeks prior, there was only 120. And last year, there was 357. So what does that mean? It means that there's 41% less active. This is what everybody's complaining about. There's just not a lot of active homes. There's not a lot to go look at. When there's not a lot to look at, you have a lot of people looking at the same thing. And that's what's going on. And it plays out here perfectly statistically. So every month, because we're entering the spring, we're just seeing more and more closed homes, more solds. So in the chart, you'll see that. We go from 287, 362, to 458 last month, 26% increase. The spring brings people out to list. It brings people out to shop. This is happening. This is no different than any other year, and we're seeing that statistically. It's actually an increase over last year of 46%. So people are out shopping. People are still buying. If you're a buyer, you can still buy a home. If you're a seller, you can still easily sell a home. So the months of supply is the best measurement for how much is there out there actually to buy, how quickly is it selling. It just means that if no other homes were listed, this is how long it would take for them all to be sold. And you'll notice the number is really small. It's not even a 1, it's a point something. So the good news is on this is you'll see that it went from 0.5 to 0.3 to 0.4, and the 0.4 is the last month. So again, we are into the spring, more homes being listed, things are getting a little bit better, and so you'll see, and hopefully that upward trajectory continues. What we want to see happen is that 0.4 go to 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. If it gets up above 1, things get a lot easier for you buyers. So how many people are looking at houses? I keep saying it, lots, right? So what you'll see is that the days on market is really quick. It's been 5 days for, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 months. That's the average. House is priced good. It's going to be sold usually on day 5. A lot of this is because a lot of real estate agents are using a method where they list the home, they expose it to buyers over the weekend. So they list it like on a Thursday, and they expose buyers to it over the weekend, and then they accept the offer on a Tuesday. And so a lot of the times this average is just kind of pointing at that, at 5 days. What's really happening is there's a lot of people who will make an offer in the first 24 hours. If the offer is good enough, maybe the house goes off market. If the offer is decent, or maybe the strategy is just to maximize the amount of people through the property and therefore the amount of offers, people will wait it out and try to collect bids, review offers on like a Monday, Tuesday, accept the one that fits them best. And last but not least, on the numbers, you'll see the average home price. Average home price is 27% in Thurston County has went up. That's just crazy. Talked about it at the beginning of this video. We have went kind of stalled out a little bit in the 467 range, jumped up to 481, $13,000 increase, and a year increase of $102,974 as the average price in Thurston County. Totally unheard of if you're comparing it historically to about 4%. 27 is a lot more than 4. I mean, that's a $96,000 extra difference, right? That's a lot of money. So that's a wrap on this month's market update. Do me a favor, if you were a buyer and you don't know where to start, you don't know what any of these numbers mean, reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through what's going on out there in the area you're looking. If you're a seller and you want to take advantage, or you see and you're just curious, okay, he tells me it's went up 100,000, you want to see what that number looks like for you, DM me the word market update, reach out, be more than happy to see if I can help with your situation.